Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder's Place. You can see we're gonna be already starting, and we're gonna be starting with quite a solid special. We're gonna be casting games of the AoC top experts TaToH and DauT from Team Secret. Gonna be playing against Swissboy, and it seems 0 OP, or, well, maybe actually Mage is gonna be playing, and yeah, in that case I need to rejoin. It seems that we're gonna be starting, so, and thanks again. Making this happen. I cannot even type experts correctly there. And thank you very much for Swissboy, obviously, for the host. So yeah, well, hopefully everybody is gonna be enjoying today's stream. So we're gonna be having quite nice amount of fun games. We're gonna be starting with these. I'm not sure how long they're gonna be playing. It's just gonna be really up to them how long they want to play. Maybe they were asking, I have seen before, Viper to play as well. But of course, if not, we're gonna be continuing with more games from, well, our standard community, as there usually and always are some games. Hopefully this is gonna be quite fine and fun for all of you, as it's gonna be Zeus for TaToH. He has been playing him down. He's gonna be playing Gaia. To be honest, that's actually a bit more difficult god for somebody who is not like playing religiously Age of Mythology, which they are not. But they are playing it fairly often lately. For the past like year or two, they are actually really... you can see them stream that quite a lot often, and it, for example, they even cast and stream and play, obviously, Age of Empires 3. They really dabble in all of the Age of Empires games, obviously, just want to be having a bit more fun for their fans and everything like that. But yeah, well, let's see, because if you didn't know, then for example DauT, he used to be an expert at the start of Age of Mythology. You can know him under the name Shmeker, S-H-M-E-K-E-R, I think it was. So you can even find games of his, old recorded games, at RTS-Sanctuary. So I'm definitely curious about this, because I really think that Gaia is a bit more difficult choice to be playing in the current meta. Whereas Zeus, yeah, you can literally do nothing wrong with him, as he's already gonna be helping his teammate, and they are gonna be playing against Swissboy, who's gonna be Zeus as well, and Mage, who is gonna be playing Ra. So that's a solid combination in there. Basically, I think it's gonna be both fine, because Gaia is really strong, especially in combat at hands, and well, this almost seemed like that he might have been lured, but no. He will just show that a bit by, of course, the villages all around. So far, let's check basically the build orders. You can see that TaToH is going quite heavily on foot at the very start. So either he wants to be advancing really quickly, or he hasn't really gotten down to the proper build orders. But so far, he's gonna be right now switching on the wood, and it kinda could be a good build order here, because you don't need the wood all that quickly, and basically all that many villages on that when you have the Gaia trees, because you obviously are gonna be gathering from that a bit faster. Otherwise, obviously, there's gonna be a bit of scouting from DauT. He's gonna be having a view of villager gold gather rate. That's actually a very excellent really. And I'm definitely curious to see if the players know about that, and if they, for example, do have the advanced tooltips as I have, which I don't think is gonna be a given. So maybe they don't even know what the relics do and how important and really kind of game-changing sometimes they can be. Another one for villager farming rate, that's actually pretty great relic indeed as well in here, so looking forward to that one. And we're gonna be, of course, switching right now to Swissboy, who is obviously going for a bit different build order. It seems much more standardish. 6 on hunt, 3 on wood, 3 on gold with house. Yeah, that's pretty much the standard build order all around, with a bit more on the hunt at the start, so that he can advance a bit faster. Whereas, you know, the Gaia 3 is gonna be by DauT cast right next to his TC, obviously, and that's gonna be, of course, helpful all around. So you can see that basically he so far doesn't really know about the meta, that it could be, for example, casting it next to the sentry tower, or maybe he doesn't care, so let's just not assume all that much. But maybe we're gonna be seeing a few very interesting things, and basically something that you'll be thinking doesn't make all that much of a sense in Age of Mythology, because from Age of Empires, where they are the very toppest players in the game, they will certainly be having some different kind of ideas how to play, and I'm, for example, curious if they're gonna be kind of skittish to go for a bit of wheelie fighting here and there against just a few raiders, because in Age of Mythology you can do that quite fine, whereas in AoC that would be a real disaster. You really don't want to do that, and I have actually tasted it like about 2 years ago when I was playing AoC on LAN. After quite some time, it was a pretty stupid idea to do. Okay, so this is gonna be alright temple here. Slightly interesting placement, but he's probably gonna be continuing with the houses to the top. This is really kind of strange placement all around. Could have definitely placed a bit more like optimally on the right side of the tower here. Be probably even already blocking this part, but anyway, probably gonna be quite fine, as obviously this boy is quite far away on the hunt still. And well, he is still continuing here and going for the hunt that is right next to his base, kinda trying to maybe optimize his advance time. But thing is, that once he's gonna be right now advancing, it's gonna be advanced about 440, then obviously he's gonna be hard pressed to go for any hunt to the front, because you could be certainly expecting that Swiss boy, who on the other hand is gonna be having some extra resources still in his base, is gonna be attempting to raid him. But apparently so far he's going in for 4 on foot, 4 on wood already in there. He's probably gonna be already advancing after this villager and even after Jason. It's gonna be a bit later, advanced at about 515. So quite interested if that's gonna be working for him. An archaic TC from DauT. And man, you can already see the difference here. Because if this was played by an AoT player, absolutely certainly he would be going for the back TC in this situation. Absolutely certainly. But it has to be said that this is actually well thought through, because he's playing against Sarah, and therefore he doesn't need to worry about any kind of early raiding. So therefore he can be going for the map control, and this kind of map control actually makes quite a lot of sense for him, as he is going to be having this large gold mine right next to it, and potentially even steal the food. So definitely makes sense in this setup. So let's look forward to if it's going to be working for him in the long run. We actually having 3 relics for economy. Villager, wood and gold get raids. Literally all 3 relics are for economical upgrades. That's really sweet for all of them. As we are looking at Mage, who's having plenty of villages on the gold at this stage. Still on food having 6 and 3 on wood, so it's gonna be probably 2 TC faster heroic, I would be guessing. Though he's already advancing kinda a bit later, and he is preparing exactly for the back one, so yeah, I'm gonna be assuming it's gonna be a 2 TC faster heroic as a ball. On a Centaur is kinda interesting by Swiss boy, but definitely makes sense, because he already didn't want to receive extra damage, and those villagers were kinda nearby on the death, and this is definitely risky play. Risky play, somebody feeling quite confident, but to be honest, this is how it used to be played, and how I personally like to play it, because when you are having the hunt villagers, those are kinda the best to go for that for the TC building, because obviously you don't miss the food that much, but you could be missing the other resources for the military buildings and stuff like that. This is gonna be a battle of Jason against Jason, and obviously it's gonna be TaToH with Swiss boy having a bit of a shootout between those guys, as DauT is going full on booming already for a 30 TC as well. So you can see that he wouldn't have escaped the front TC anyway with this kind of strategy that he's coming for. Second TC finished for Mage, so basically the standard build order so far. And we are gonna be looking at Swiss boy finishing without even needing actually a ceasefire. That almost seems like that basically TaToH was just kinda paying attention somewhere where he shouldn't have all that much. Gonna be clearing this village here, there's not much escape into that. Even double walling on, kinda sketchy double walling to be honest here. So he's probably gonna be trying to force his opponent into some kind of tactical mistake in there. But anyway, this TC already is quite important, and of course might be netting him quite a solid bonus against TaToH. Because if TaToH is not gonna be switching through second TC anytime soon, and Swiss boy will be able to play this tactically correct, therefore basically defend and not really lose all that many villages, beside the one that he already lost, then I'm expecting that this could be quite a solid gameplay. And man, whoa! Going with 2 villages for a TC, that's also something that you would be rarely seeing for an Age of Mythology player, and he might be actually though getting away with it. It's gonna be depending how aggressive this boy is going to be, but I don't think he's gonna be all that much, because he already is slightly worried about the opponent. You can see already seeing it in all the towers that TaToH is gonna be raiding a whole lot more. But yeah, well, gonna be having a bit of a look in this base, and you can also see the difference here that TaToH doesn't have the basic meta in his blood that much, as he's not seen, or rather we're not seeing Centaur Polymars yet, and that definitely means, as he's right now, just now coming for it, that he's not gonna be that effective. But right now he could be getting at least like 1 shot on this guy. It's gonna be that. Yep, there we go, exactly what you want to do, 3 Centaurs exactly to kill him, and of course he's gonna be needing a bit of extra wall in Swiss boy if he wants to survive this for a long term. Apparently the TC is gonna be standing with Odysseus and Jason having a bit of fun with the granary. It's not like it matters a whole lot, just a bit of a potential wasted time. I would be thinking maybe could be guarding that TC, or maybe just trying a bit of radiant here and there. But right now with even, okay, that's an early tower at 8 minutes for the defense in there. So it seems like that Swiss boy is definitely quite respectful of his opponent's skill. And let's see if it's gonna be warranted or not. So far it seems that it might be, as obviously right now Odysseus will be trying to get a shot here into those guys, but they don't seem to be really all that important here, as Hathor is gonna be already coming forward. Luckily for the player, he does have quite a lot of gold mines right next to the back TC, and there's another gold mine here and potentially even here if he needs it. Whereas it's a bit of a problem maybe for Swissboy, because I don't see any gold here, and he would have to go all the way there, which is not entirely safe, so potentially a bit of a problem with the gold could be coming for Swissboy if he's not careful enough. Zator is in, and DauT, is he already gonna be advancing or not? He's gonna be, yeah, he's gonna be advancing. So let's see, it should be Taya hopefully for him, as it's gonna be in the base TC, and it certainly is, as he's having still plenty of wood around this TC to potentially protect it, but just to limit any kind of walking time for all the villagers and the citizens. But already right now, just starting with the military barracks, and military barracks actually ×2. So literally no counter barracks. Oh well, seems so. Seems that's gonna be the idea for him. So that's gonna be kinda tricky, because obviously the Migdal already come in for the gold, and also having kinda at least slight control of the front TC. It's kinda nicely positioned for a mage. He might be, of course, starting quite promptly with all the camels, the chariot archers, and everything like that, and really start to be dangerous to his opponent quite promptly. Okay, triple markets already in kinda tricky spot. Could have been better here. Not alright, probably gonna be working anyway. And you can see that right now TaToH is already having the plow, and otherwise he is already on shaft mine and bowsaw. And we're gonna be probably not seeing the same here. Yeah, and that's... I'm really thinking this is gonna be stemming from Age of Empires mainly, because this is reasonably early actually getting those upgrades, especially with the strategy that he's choosing. Because in Age of Empires, economy is like completely and utterly paramount. In Age of Mythology, it is very similar, but in Age of Empires, you just cannot stress the importance of economy enough. And that's, I'm really thinking this is gonna be translating from AoC here, and basically the different type of strategy, and he's gonna be just trying to win the game in the late game much more than try to raid the opponent into that. Yeah, well, let's see if it's gonna be working. Certainly could, looking at what kind of civilizations he's having against him, as DauT is already gonna be, yeah, he's having already channels, carpenters, shaft mine. Oh man, he's gonna be having insane economy, as Swissboy is just now coming for the shaft mine, and obviously not having the upgrade on the wood yet, at least if he hasn't upgraded it just about now. Still getting plenty of favor for Forge of Olympus apparently. At this point, as I will be thinking, a bit of raiding still going on. He killed one villager, but it's gonna be just some kind of measly losses, and yeah, Swissboy is certainly quite worried what might be coming for him, and that inevitably is going to be meaning that this TC is gonna be very hard to actually take down for the opponent, as there's already a bit of raiding going on. With this Tymphaliambers trying to follow, but only 3.6 speed is certainly not gonna be enough against 5.5 and 6.6 on the cavalry and the chariot archers. Yeah, bit of a visit by Mr. Budget, and that actually reminds me that on Twitch there is right now Inspector Gadget actually being streamed as some kind of, not sure if it's some kind of anniversary or whatever, but anyway, yeah, Budget Gadget obviously is gonna be coming for a few villages, trying to hit them here and there. So far, DauT is of course gonna be taking this kinda slowly. Can see just growing with the army very, very slowly indeed, but he's already gonna be getting Poseidon's secret in there. And did he have Lens of Stone already? Been somewhere researched? No, not yet. But he's already having bronze. Oh, damn. He's already having, of course, the Pierce Armor upgrade. And we're gonna be, of course, looking at the other units not having anything at all. As the second squad of the Kontara is having a bit of fun. And we're gonna be seeing, of course, the Locust being cast. And that's nicely cast by Mage, because it wasn't aimed for the gold miners all that much. It was aimed to stop the palace from coming forward, because that could be making for a bit of a problem. One citizen dead in there, another one here at the bottom. So that is not really that great, but DauT was able to find him. Oh, third one dead. This one is kinda dead as well, as of course it's moving around ever so slightly, and therefore Mage is getting quite solid advantage here, and also killing the enemy economy. Yeah, well, that's definitely seeming to work quite nicely, and unfortunately Kontara against all the camels, that's not gonna be working that well, even though they are having quite nice upgrades already on them. Obviously there is not gonna be anything at all, as yes, Spidey is gonna be taking the soldiers here and there, and defensive measure of all the trees. That's not a bad idea at all, because that could be limiting how many units and potentially even siege towers are gonna be coming from here very promptly, are gonna be able to get into their spot right next to his position as another villager died. It's gonna be already like a fourth, maybe even a fifth one there. Damn. And that was gold miners. Okay, so even though he has all that many upgrades on the economy, this is probably not gonna be that huge, but we need to be switching to bottom as well. TaToH is having a bit of a fun with Swissboy, and Swissboy should be able to defend this quite fine. You can see there's medium hoplites without any kind of upgrades on top of that. As you can see, Swissboy is having just the base ones, and we're gonna be looking at irrigation and fortified TC for Mage. So yeah, the players so far having quite a nice game. against his opponent, and I will be definitely liking a bit more wall-in. Or is it actually this blocked? It actually seems that it is. It actually seems there is no hole here. Alright, well done then. Good wall-in already, basically the whole map. So that's gonna be working quite fine for them. As you're gonna be, of course, looking at Mage pushing forward. And it's gonna be resulting into, well, bit of a, of course, problem because of the forest. That's an excellent rail use. And I'm kind of really glad that I'm watching this match. Because this could be allowing us to see things. And basically thinking outside of the box and out of the meta altogether. Because obviously they're just not used to everything that you can see in the top level matchups in Age of Mythology. And that's exactly so far. And usually the kind of impulse that can let you see what maybe something could be done differently, maybe a bit more optimally. And yeah, that's definitely nicely played, as though the economy is certainly suffering, as this is about the 7th villager dying here. And that's a huge blow to economy, even with all the economical upgrades that he's already having. Carpenter's very flat control at 40 minutes, not even mythical age so far. Very well played, heavy Kontarai in there, with the bronze and copper already prepared, and heavy chariots already for mage, and heavy cavalry as well. And this is gonna be where the situation is gonna be getting dire for DauT, and he certainly should be thinking about mythical age at this point, because this is really gonna be getting quite difficult. Carpenter's heavy spearman, even on top of that. So how's it looking with the economy for it though? As TaToH is advancing into, oh, not really all that good. He's really right now struggling to actually keep the production all together. So let's see if Dra is gonna be able to apply the pressure and continue with it. So far as, man, so this boy is getting nasty. This boy is getting real nasty with all the towers here. And it's gonna be, of course, resulting into a bit of a problem for TaToH. As even though he's gonna be having the heroic age, he's gonna have to certainly rely on all the Petroboli, because without those, he's not getting through this at all. Like, literally at all, even though they don't have any kind of extra upgrades. And the army is reasonably good. He's having already mediums, right? No, he's not. Damn. Just look wrongly at the graphics in there. But of course right now the Hydra is gonna be certainly helpful, and he's gonna be trying to destroy the fortress, which he should be succeeding with quite fine with all the hoplites. But he definitely should be thinking about, yep, Hephaestus coming for TaToH, and Mage is gonna be advancing into Osiris as well. So at this point, already even getting heavy hoplites, that's gonna be very important upgrade here. Whereas this boy is having quite solid problems advancing even into the heroic age, but he does have the resources, and it almost seems he's gonna be able to jump mythic very quickly. But the gold, exactly as we said, is going to be a problem for him, as he doesn't have all that many gold mines. The upgrades for him are not really all that huge. As for TaToH, they are gonna be shaft mine and carpenters at least there. So Query is still missing, but maybe he could be also going for a bit more upgrades into farming. As at this point, Mage is taking things slowly, because he is pretty much just waiting. This is gonna be a tactical one. I'm thinking this is gonna be partly because of the fortress. And I can agree with this. I can certainly agree with that, because that's gonna be allowing him to basically catch up and then place his own fortress somewhere about here, get the Petroboli and get rid of all of this. And much more importantly, it's gonna be allowing him to also jump into the mythical age in reasonable time after his opponent, and therefore really not be in such a bad situation as he so far kinda seems to be at this point. Champion chariots, oh damn. Mage is playing really well so far. So basically this is gonna be resulting in quite a scary army in his place to the top side, as he's gonna be even going for a few more towers once those stand, or rather stop dancing around. And it's of course gonna be finishing with the ceasefire as well, as those heavy Kontarai are getting really good upgrades, or having bronze weapons as well, and they're gonna be getting scary, but they could certainly be using a bit of a mail against all the spearmen and of course all the camels, as you're gonna be right now switching to the bottom where the battle is gonna be resuming. Seen already medium hoplites at least, but the baseline of upgrades is slowly coming forward, which is a bit surprising considering that you'll be thinking he might be wanting to go for the Forge of Olympus, as heavy hoplites are here exactly at the same spot. And oh well, all those centaurs and the manticores, that's gonna be completely slaughtering right now TaToH. He's not gonna be surviving this at all. And well, unfortunately, right now, finally getting with Heracles and obviously also Odysseus onto the fun there. He's gonna be limiting them in numbers, but still the battle is gonna be won. But I'm kinda curious why this boy is actually still continuing to fight this slightly. I'm thinking he might want to at least retreat slightly so that he's not under fire from the fortress. But yeah, well, Helepoli already come in here, and unfortunately we don't exactly see a fortress being made by this boy, which I think that he should be attempting to do. He doesn't have the wood, unfortunately, in there, but he's at least popped, and the hoplites might be just enough. And even the Hypaspis to get rid of the fortress in reasonable timing. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Myrmidons are not good against a gate. They're just a waste of resources because they are incredibly expensive and much more importantly, 3 pop limits, so that's not exactly good. There's a small raiding going on to the back. Oh, DauT kinda overreacting with all the Kontarai coming after it. But anyway, this is gonna be probably right now resulting into TaToH going for a ceasefire. Oh yeah, because of the fortress. This time he wants to actually keep it alive. So yeah. It's gonna be right now curious to see if this boy is gonna be already able to use it for the mythic. Certainly will. Oh, he's coming here though. Okay, so this is why he has gone for the upgrades. He's not going for the Forge of Olympus there at all, but at last for DauT, that's gonna be certainly helpful in here, in the battle as well. So you're gonna be looking at bronze weapons, bronze mail and shields, yeah. It's looking like that Forge of Olympus has been researched for TaToH, and he's gonna be getting all the upgrades that he can be getting already with Champion Infantry being there as well. So kinda curious where the implosion is gonna be used. It's gonna be used like here, on Son of Osiris and all of that, potentially could be dangerous for the player in there. If he kinda is gonna be misplaying it, but no, this dude, he should be sending mummies to the bottom to have a bit of a fun with his opponent in there, with the Colossi, but yeah, Kontarai are kinda spread all across the place, and that's a damn lot of them, but only if he knew what's the strongest suit for them. For example, Lance of Stone, and having them made into heroes. That would be really good for him, as his economy is beyond ridiculous with all the early upgrades. Having 3000 gold in there, 1000 food, it's really excellent for him. And as of course mercenaries are gonna be coming forward trying to destroy the heavy Kontarai, but they already do have all the bronze. That's nice to upgrade it at this point. And the situation is gonna be getting slightly more complicated in there at the bottom, as right now of course this boy is fighting as much as he can, and obviously against the Myrmidons he's gonna be winning in there. But so far this is not a good spot for any kind of I'm kinda right now thinking that if the Lightning Storm wouldn't be better used somewhere to the top, and that's gonna be big engagement from Mage. Because I don't expect that TaToH, with the strategy that so far he's taking, he's gonna be able to push through against Swiss Boy. But Swiss Boy is still gonna have to be careful as Implode is being used, and it's gonna be obviously Son of Osiris, probably not swept up. I don't think that he will be, but he still should be receiving at least some kind of damage. But he's apparently gonna be, yeah, some implosion. Who the hell cares, damn it. I'm just gonna watch it blow up. Didn't even receive any kind of damage from that, but all those towers and that wall in might be slight issue. But of course with the TC already down for DauT, and having of course problem seeing all of those units here, that might be really coming forward, as the Lightning Bolt is gonna be already destroying all the units, and much more importantly the catapults are gonna be taking and keeping the TC down quite significantly, as this Champion Chariot probably not that interested in working anymore, just having a bit of a fun in there. Okay, so obviously right now the Medusas could be solidly enough. Let's see if this boy is gonna be properly micro, please. Oh no, come on. Please notice him, that's exactly what you should be doing. But I would be so actually liking if TaToH switched into some kind of better units, because so far he's kinda winning only because he's having Champion Infantry pretty much, and he's full iron already. Whereas his opponent is already, or rather already just on the copper, and that's basically the reason. Yeah, the unit choice is just not correct here. Yeah, finally, nice. And it's gonna be Colossus dead from the Medusa, obviously, and then he's gonna be pushed back because of only Hypaspis. That's gonna be certainly working very well for him. So just waiting for Swiss Boy to get some upgrades, as the Lance of Stone for DauT is finally coming forward, and then things might be going down, but is he gonna be allowed to do so? That's the real question, as I'm also checking on the middle in here, quite nicely positioned by DauT, taking a gold in the middle from the opponents, and that's of course gonna be resulting into not being discovered all that easily by the opponents, because I could be thinking he could be there, and oh, yeah, that's sad. It's kinda sad we actually catching the mercenary, but anyway, at this stage, everything is better than nothing. So right now, Son of Osiris merging with the catapult is just gonna be destroying the Argus very easily. And the units are just here in quite solid numbers here. Right now we can see basically a bit of a difference as well, as he was targeting the catapult instead of basically having, for example, a raid on the Son of Osiris, because he's a much bigger problem right about now, than trying to get the settlement up. And yeah, well, it's really looking quite solid at this point for Mage. Now we're looking in his upgrade almost all iron, just missing the shields there, which he's not really having to fight against all that much. But TaToH is going right about now for the bronze, and obviously it's gonna be... That's an overreaction slide. I think this is slight overreaction by Swiss Boy. I think he didn't need it all that much, but it's certainly gonna be helping him immensely, because that's a complete army wipe right there, and it's gonna be probably allowing to get a few more hits into potentially even the fortress. There is right now attack through the top side. There's a fortress here as well, so that's quite nicely done. With champion infantry and bronze weapons finally coming forward for Swissboy. And once that is gonna be in, the champion infantry, which is about now, then the situation is gonna be getting really problematic for TaToH, as he really just doesn't have the correct army. But finally, is he? I thought that I saw a few different units in there, but apparently not. It's still going to be only Myrmidons. And yeah, well, he definitely also could be using Bellerophon, as he's even being made in the TC. He seems to be having Crenellations and fortified TC, so Masons would be definitely nice as well. But he also needs a few more Medusas there to get rid, especially of the Colossi. Yep, nicely done. And if his opponent is not gonna be making all that many, which it doesn't seem to be all that true, because he's still moving forward with new ones. Swissboy is so far falling back, and he's having significant problems somehow handling actually the push of his opponent. And could that be because of his economy? He's gonna be checking the upgrades in there. He's basically fully upgraded. Well, he doesn't have carpenters, not like he needs them all that much. But the economy for his opponent is even messing very, and he's still having such a good game with his opponent, so that's definitely nicely done. And yeah, that's the problem. The Medusa is already dead, and Bellerophon is not gonna be strong enough for this. Because unfortunately no villages are nearby, and this is very late to go for the repair, and this is gonna be getting quite tricky. As even though Underworld Passage is still there for Swissboy, even Shifting Sense for Mage, is gonna be all about if DauT is gonna be able to hold and help his teammate TaToH to somehow win the bottom side in there altogether, or if maybe Mage is gonna be doing exactly the same for his team and letting Swissboy kinda at least stay alive long enough for him to win it. Yeah, are we just now dying, or rather, yeah, well, dying in there, and also killing a few Dryads here and there, as the Egyptian is desperately trying to get a TC, and once that happens, then the situation really moves into near problematic, at least, for the team on the right side, as the towers are quite nicely positioned. Even a guard tower, or the ballista tower already, gonna be researched here, so yeah, they're gonna be getting even more ridiculously dangerous, as right now the catapults are just mowing through the enemy army, as medium archer have been switched with bronze in there in the shield, still missing the iron in here. But obviously right now this is gonna be problematic for DauT beyond any kind of reasonable measure, as even mercenaries might be coming from this, and they certainly could. 4,000, 3,000 and stuff like that. And as I'm looking for Swissboy. He's having some kind of resources quite fine, but at this stage it's probably gonna be very hard for him to somehow get rid of all of this. So he should probably just spam the guard towers and then try to make some kind of extra push forward, because right now he just needs to hold, and it's gonna be about his ally finally dealing with all the nonsenses on the other side of the map, as he's even pushing forward against the market, obviously. Gonna be blocking even the gold, and this is very well played by Mage, somewhere inside base. Yeah, he's so far still moving forward, but it's definitely DauT doing quite a good job in the defense here. And now another mid-gold though is gonna be a bit more of a problem that he will be probably able to handle, you know, with the champion Kontarai and even having the levy in there for faster creation time of all the units. At the level, the combination of all of these units seems to be really a bit too much for DauT, but he's really doing what he can, and it certainly could be, if he can be holding this for at least a few extra minutes, it really might be allowing TaToH to do something at the bottom and maybe even try to steal a TC. Let's see, because that's gonna be always quite difficult against right now superior numbers in the population limit. And yep, you don't so far see any kind of masons or anything like that, so obviously the buildings are not gonna be really that insanely strong so far. Aleppo is of course going forward with even a few more extra colossi. Yeah, it's gonna be right now dying because of the nice use of the Medusa, but the Medusa should be pretty much just hanging back, as he should be using them as a mummy, as the Osiris players usually do, because obviously he just needs them in exactly the correct moment, and otherwise, yeah, well, they are kind of way too precious to be lost to any kind of normal fight. So far, that seems to be quite a solid spam of all the military buildings here from TaToH, and he's even, oh, he's actually not using AutoQ, do you see this? He's only clicking all the units. That's definitely right now coming skill from Age of Empires 2, where obviously you don't have an auto-queue. So that's the same as if a vanilla player was playing, and that obviously is going to be a bit more efficient if you are able to do it. But otherwise, well, if your opponent is skilled enough as well, then he should be able to handle it even with auto-queue and such. Okay, so of course a bit of a problem with the TC attempted to be stolen, but DauT has already lost the main TC in there, and he's certainly right now falling back quite significantly, as this is quite probably gonna be coming for Mage in no time whatsoever, as they are trying to get the... oh well, the Migdol up, or what was it? Yeah, it's gonna be a Migdol probably, as the Son of Osiris is still alive for quite a long time at this point, so that's definitely nicely done, and gonna be of course meaning that... I'm thinking that Swissboy is not gonna be dying quickly enough for the team of DauT and TaToH, for Team Secret. I'm really thinking they're gonna be fine, and even upgrade on Medusa. Medusa Matriarch is already there, and it's gonna be a GG being called, with Mage going for the Titans in here, and it's gonna be resulting into the victory for the left team, for Mage and Swissboy. But still, Swissboy certainly was having significant problems with TaToH here, even though TaToH wasn't really exactly choosing the correct units in there with the Myrmidons, but he switched into the Hypaspis already, and right now it's gonna be going a whole lot better. But it could be going even better if he, for example, switched into a few archers here and there. Same kind of goes for Swissboy. Same goes for Swissboy. A few archers will be doing wonders against all that infantry. As I mean, like, Myrmidons, they of course weren't the correct unit in there, but let's not say that they are really that crappy. They're not, they are really solid units. But obviously you can be doing better, and better combination of units, so that's kind of a bit of a shame that Swissboy didn't use it properly, because if he combined the Hypaspis with a few Toxotai in there, that would have been really not too nice for the player on the right. But yeah, right now he's probably gonna be having just a bit of fun with Swissboy in there, to see who's gonna be winning this. We kinda know, probably at this point. It's gonna be very hard for Swissboy to come back, but it's not impossible, because so far he's doing a pretty good job in there. That's still quite a solid spam of buildings here. At yeah, well, TaToH is gonna be already right now tapping out as well, and we have seen quite a solid game. Quite a heavy boom with the Gaia. That didn't really work out all that much against the really strong 2TC fast 3 heroic from Tundra, whereas at the bottom that was a very solid Greek war. It was quite nice. Yeah. Nice Greek war right there. Nicely done. Okay, let's have a look into the post game there. And there was certainly a huge difference in especially approach to the economy. Could have seen the economical upgrades coming up so quickly for both DauT and TaToH. And for TaToH it certainly worked out, because he was able to kinda pretty much outspam Swissboy, it seemed. Pretty much seemed like that. That was also one of the chief reasons why Swissboy was kinda hanging back, as TaToH did have the better advances into the next ages and also the upgrades. And it certainly helped him. And I mean TaToH in there, to really stay ahead and abreast of his opponent, even though Swissboy might have been using a bit more optimal units in there. Unit skill 256, units loss 332, well yeah. That's exactly the meat grinder that TaToH was going and having there, and it seemed to be working really well. Really well indeed. Whereas on the other side, DauT, unit skill 188 and lost 320. Yeah, unfortunately, he kinda chose the wrong strategy against Ra, and Ra just... yeah, showed him what Ra is good at, and that's punishing. Improper timings, and very good upgrades for all of the players in here. Okay, 945, it's kinda good attempt. It's actually not a bad timing for 3 TCs, but against an Egyptian it usually can be tricky. 1442, 1650, 20, and the 1649, especially the mythic for TaToH, that was the biggest problem for Swissboy. His timings just weren't exactly the best as they could have been. Civilian units there for Swissboy coming forward, and for DauT, yeah, we have seen right now the pretty brutal drop there. Even through making villages from 3 TCs, he was dropping this way. That really tells you something. He lost tons of villages there. It was quite painful, and yeah, well, this is where the battles were starting to get interesting, obviously, for especially DauT. Okay, GG.